What is up, guys? Thanks a lot for checking out another Project Bike video. I know it's been actually quite a while since I posted a video even about the Project Bike, so let me give you a brief update on where we left, and let's get into it. So we pretty much left the Project Bike off in complete disarray. It was a little bit all over the map. I think the official video last on it was completely torn down and ready for sandblasting. And then in one of the project videos of the Honda Civic, I ended up showing you guys that it came back from the sandblasters, fully sandblasted. I don't know if it was painted at that time or not. I'm pretty sure it was only sandblasted. I was just clearing out space in the garage to get the Civic in there. But today what we're going to be concentrating on is getting the wiring harness itself cleaned up and getting ready to be put back on the frame. And then also might as well show you guys the frame back from paint. It's been painted for probably a couple months now, but just been so busy with other projects on the go, which also brings me to the Project Fiat 500. This is not a personal vehicle of mine. This is actually a client of mine, his vehicle. And what we're doing is we're giving a good detail, just cleaning it up well enough because he wants to post it up for sale. So if anybody wants a Fiat 500C, it's actually the 4-cylinder, 2-liter turbocharged 6-speed manual transmission. It's pretty sweet. But yeah, so we're cleaning this all up. I already did a brief detail on it just to get it in the garage. Did exterior wash, pressure washed all the nooks and crannies, got all the algae and stuff off, and then also got the interior pretty much all sorted. There's just the fine little tunings here and there, and then we're gonna give it a polish too. But back to the Project Bike here. Yeah, so might as well show you what we're looking at here. So I got the frame itself all painted, nice sealer primer and acrylic paint on there. The frame itself is a little dusty. Got it pretty much as a roller chassis, but yeah, we need to start sorting out the motor itself, get that all cleaned up, full service, carb service too, which isn't really of a big deal. But the first thing that I want to concentrate on is just getting this wiring harness cleaned up. It's just so bloody manky and nasty. I want to get it all mounted up onto the frame. That way I can start slowly putting some of the other stuff on. But I have a lot more to do on the plastics itself. As you can see, I started sanding off all the nasty silver because we need to get these prepped and ready for wrapping. The tank itself is just right over here. My garage is an absolute mess, but I got all my flooring from my projects upstairs, all my kitchen renos and stuff. But yeah, so the tank is fully primered, all repaired, ready for the wrap itself, just waiting on a good time to get that taken care of. And then we can start cleaning up all the plastics, get that all wrapped. Same with the foot pegs and the rear sets and sprocket covers, all of that stuff there. Especially this exhaust muffler, we need to clean that up. Get this can of fresh silver, and this is just disgusting. This is not going to cut it. Same with the undertail plastics too. Got to get that all cleaned up. Real quick, first order of business, we're going to just start unwinding all this nasty tape, making sure there's no broken connection, winding it up with fresh tape. So I decided to not take off all the old electrical tape. I just figured it was going to take an absolute nightmare long of a time. So what I'm doing is I'm actually just wrapping new electrical tape over the existing stuff. That already looks a million times better compared to what it was. Look down there and look up there. So we're going to keep on wrapping hopefully the entire thing until I run out of electrical tape. I actually just realized that I need to run to the store to get more, but we're going to keep on going as far as we can go on this, and then if we run out before we finish, we'll move on to something else on the bike to get it all sorted. We're in luck. I found a fresh roll of tape. Yes, I thought for sure I was already out. Okay, so we got a couple more little spots all wrapped up. Time for this big main sucker, and then down to the rest of the middle of the harness, and so on. Let's keep on going here. Okay guys, so check that out. That looks so much better compared to this nasty manky mess. The people who ever had the bike before did a bunch of different crazy spray painting and all that stuff, as you guys saw. If you guys checked out the previous bike build videos, and there was a bunch of different, either just general dirt or overspray, different colors of paints and everything all over the split loom. So just simply fresh electrical tape over everything makes it so much better and way more appealing to the eye. The idea of this is just strictly cosmetic, just to make it look better. I actually already tested all the wires before I completely removed the harness, and everything was fine. So functionality of the harness itself, I have no doubts in. And if there is something, you know, it's not the end of the world to split this all open and figure out what's going on. But like I mentioned, I checked everything out in the beginning, so it should be sound and no problem. So we're going to keep on going here. And I won't bore you with all the time lapses because it's going to get pretty long. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean it all up and report back very shortly. Okay guys, so it's actually a new day. I did run out of electrical tape while I was doing up the wiring harness on the bike. But here, let me flip the camera around and I'll show you what I've done. Alright, so the wiring harness is all complete, fully wrapped in the fresh electrical tape. It looks way better than what it used to. It was really crusty and dirty. So we cleaned it all up, wiped it all down, and then just rewrapped it with fresh electrical tape. I was going to put it in the frame on the bike. However, I thought it'd be probably better off to clean the motor and get that all prepped, installed with nothing really hanging and being in the way. So that's going to be my next priority here, is actually getting the motor cleaned up. I got a bunch of degreaser. So let's get the garage door open up. Yeah, hopefully we can use a pressure washer and get some of that gunk off. All right, we have the garage door open. It is way too cold out there. So here's my makeshift oil splash strap. I don't know what the heck this is. It's just to prevent from oil from getting everywhere. We're gonna soak this thing in the degreaser, let it sit. Yeah, we're just gonna take the airline to it and see how that goes. Hopefully we have good luck. We'll see in a moment. All right, so pretty much the motor is degreased to the point where I can get at least installed in the bike frame. Just that way it's a little bit easier to get underneath and what have you on the motor itself, underneath all the little nooks and crannies in the main frame while it's actually held in the frame, able to get underneath there and what have you. So we're just trying to move it off the jack into the main frame. I already got off the little roller dolly that I had on it. But yeah, we're just trying to figure out how to get into the frame with one person. And yeah, here we go. All right, and there you have it. The motor is not 100%, but it is in place with one rod through it, just holding it into the main frame, obviously with the help of the jack there. But yeah, wow, okay, so that's not too bad. Just ended up just getting it part of a skid onto the jack and lifting it up. But yeah, it's not bad. We're going to keep on going here and get more of this motor installed so that way it can hang underneath its own weight. So as you guys can see, there's no more jack holding the motor into the frame. It is secured by its two mounting rods. There's still, I think, like another 1 or 2 rods to put in. But for the most part, this will do us just fine, just to get to the next step that we're looking for. But honestly, this bike is starting to take up shape with a fresh painted frame. The motor, it's going to get even more freshened up and then perhaps even a fresh coat of paint on it. More about that later. Maybe even the wheels, just a fresh coat of silver. And then a couple other bracketries like the rear sets and then the actual main foot pegs, the shift linkage, what have you. That's all just going to probably get a fresh coat of silver. This bike is going to look phenomenal. I was already looking at LED turn signals and LED headlight kits and whatnot. So I got lots of plans for this bike. Especially, you know, because we bought it for next to nothing and, you know, maybe I want to keep it, maybe I want to sell it. I don't know yet, but for now, we're just having fun. So for right now, the next steps for me on this is I'm just going to make sure that the motor is mounted 100%. Just that way, it's not on my mind. I can move on to something completely else. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and finish on mounting with that bucket full of nuts and bolts there. All right, bit more of an update. So I went to go put the chain onto the front sprocket of the motor and realized that the tolerances on the rear wheel were a little too low on this one side here. The chain was actually noticeably on an angle, so I ended up taking off the rear wheel. It turns out that I had the spacer on the sprocket swapped for the spacer on the brake rotor itself. So I took off the tire, rotated those around, and now it's actually a lot better, a lot straighter, especially now that the sprocket does not bind on the swing arm, which was also another indicator that something was wrong. But we got the chain on the front sprocket all the way extended to the rear sprocket, so that's a lot better. We also got the other bar, the other mounting bar through the motor too. So pretty much this is just a nice stand, so I'm not dealing with a bike on an angle that's more up and down. So it can stay on here for now while I just put things back together. But yeah, this is really good progress that we're making on this one. So I'm very happy with what we're accomplishing. Obviously, the upper triple is not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other way around. I just did that just for temporary, just to hold things in place while I get everything all up front situated. I am planning on sanding this all down and doing a fresh coat of silver on this. And then also with the controls, all that stuff. I'm still planning on cleaning all this up. I was just more concerned about just getting the frame back to where it's supposed to be, and then tend to all the little details and whatnot. So I'm gonna keep this on a little bit of shorter side, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this episode, and really a big update on the project bike here. On the next episode of the bike, I'm hoping to have pretty much everything all buttoned up, the radiator system and all that stuff on the bike. Everything plumb, fresh oil change, and get the carburetors rebuilt and plumb back on there also. But for right now, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you guys do subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell on so that way you guys know when I post videos. Also, follow me on Instagram. You guys always get to see little posts and what I'm working on behind the scenes and everything first before it actually makes it out to YouTube. As always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.